a world where losing in your fantasy football league isn't an option, we present to you Triple Coverage Podcast.
Hey YouTubers, if you like what you see, make sure you click subscribe below. Today we're going to do our Thursday night triple threat with a punishment song. So week 3, are you ready? Crack a cold one and enjoy.
Football league isn't an option. We present to you Triple Coverage Podcast.
You in the six is what it's called. Having conversations with mama. That Thursday night was a mess. Ain't been returning my text so she can read in the press. She got iTunes alerts. Them shits go straight to her phone. Judges my picks from home. You know won't leave me alone. She said I heard you went with you know who. I told her girl I'll always go with you know who. I said, you know what? Zach Ertz has screwed me 2 other times, but maybe this is going to be his year, you know? And then no, that would be the last time I ever pick Zach Ertz. I don't own him. Oh, no, I do own him in a fantasy league. I will be trading Zach Ertz as we speak.
And how did that Ertz pick go there?
You know what?
Because he had like 11 catches last week.
Right, but not when I played him. Every time I need this SOB, he does not come through. Zach Ertz are dead to me. I'll never... You know what? The one thing that I did have him in that I said that I was going to trade him in, it's like it's not even worth trading because I know I'll trade him and he'll blow up even more. So like I can't win. At this point, I wish I'd never drafted him, and I want nothing to do with Zach Ertz.
All right, we are back for the Week 3 Thursday night triple threat episode. I'm here with my brother James.
What's up, dudes?
And I am Jay, and I'm a little nervous because, spoiler alert, in case you don't watch the rest of this, I'm the one that has to sing the punishment song.
It's you know what it was because Zach Ertz wasn't involved, so I actually won last week because I didn't have to worry about Zach Ertz effing me over again.
It's because John Ross sucks.
Well, Johnny Ross, you took him.
So let's do a little review of last week's Thursday game, and then at the end of this episode, we'll preview Week 3's Thursday night game. So
Thursday night juggernaut.
Yeah, we had the Ravens and Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals, and it's actually a pretty high-scoring event. 34-23, the Bengals ended up winning it. I didn't think it was going to be a shootout. I liked the over. I bet the over, but I didn't think it was going to be a shootout like this.
At what point do you think Cincinnati implodes? It happens every single year where like the offense clicks for a few weeks and then all of a sudden Andy Dalton looks like crap. Joe Mixon now is going to be out. Do you think this is the week that they come back and now they're just not the same team without Mixon back there?
No, I think Gio is going to be pretty good in his place.
Or do you think they play good all season until the playoffs come and then they lose?
And then lose in the playoffs.
Okay.
That's their MO.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that Bengals offense looked awesome, but now Mixon kind of got banged up into the game. They're saying he had to have some arthroscopic surgery.
Like a cleanup surgery.
Yeah, clean up, schmeen up. You're in the NFL. You got to be ready to go. And he's not. They said 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks, I believe. But even if it's 3 weeks, man, you don't want to throw that guy out there after coming off knee surgery. I don't know. I'm a little leery. I have Joe Mixon in one of our leagues. Actually, we own them together.
It's just a cleanup.
Okay, we'll see. So how many weeks does he miss?
I hope he only misses 2.
And then plays the 3rd week. So it comes back week 5.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, me too. I mean, I was high on Mixon this season, so hopefully he comes back.
Gio is probably one of your top waiver wire ads this week because if you're going to give him the starting job for the first few weeks, I like that. I like that going forward.
Love Gio. Does anybody else get any kind of playing time, Mark Walton or otherwise, or is it all going to be Gio?
Mark Walton hasn't gotten any playing time yet, but they have to sprinkle him in a little bit here and there.
Somebody's going to get some touches somewhere.
They're going to have to. You know who they just signed today was Thomas Rawls. They signed Thomas Rawls because Trey Carson was injured, and that was the guy that's kind of filling in the number 3 spot for the time being, and they signed Thomas Rawls. I don't know if he'll be ready by Sunday. I'm sure they'll throw him out there if he is. Well,
the one thing I did take away from this game, a few things actually, but Joe Flacco threw the ball 55 times. I mean, I know they were down, but I mean, they just let him go back there. But before the season started, everyone's saying Joe Flacco is going to get taken over. It's only a matter of time. Lamar Jackson, they want Lamar Jackson in there, this, that, and this. But, I mean, they've had opportunities to throw Lamar Jackson in there, and they really haven't. So
they bring him in to run.
Okay, how many times?
2 carries for 6 yards.
Right, so it's like I get they're trying to get him involved a little bit, but I mean 55 times let this guy throw and they were losing the whole game. This to me would be a time you could have threw him in there in the second half just to see what he can do if you did want to kind of see where he's at without really holding anything against him. I mean you're down by however many points it was. They were down 9, so they were down like 34. What is that? 34 to 12, 34 to 14 they were down.
I know,
you could have easily threw him in.
It was never really a blowout.
34 to 14 going into what are you talking about?
No, it was 28-14 at halftime. and then it was 28-17 at the end of the third.
Okay.
It wasn't.
I'm just saying you can give Lamar Jackson a couple of chances in there. It doesn't mean to me it means that Flacco's not losing his job anytime soon. I guess. No, what I'm reading into this.
Yeah, he's not.
He's going to be playing throughout the rest of this.
Both guys are really good on as far as streaming quarterbacks too.
Alex Collins. The chances are, if you owned him, you probably played him. He only had 9 carries in this game, which I was a little surprised by. Again, you were losing the entire game, but then you would thought they used him more in the passing game, and he only had three receptions. So
he did a little bit of damage in the receiving game. Right, 3 for 55.
Right. But again, that's not what you want from your running back.
No.
I want my running back to get 15 carries or more. He's only getting 9, and he's supposed to be the lead back there. And then Buck Allen comes in and vultures the touchdown from him as well. Right. So if you're Alex Collins owner, you weren't really happy about that. Hopefully that doesn't continue where they use him as the every down back and then Buck Allen gets a goal line, because that would be very frustrating.
Yeah, that sucked.
Especially. Anything on the Cincinnati side besides the Mixon injury? I thought Tyler Boyd kind of stood out now.
Yep, to me, Tyler Boyd stands out as the clear-cut number 2.
He got 2 weeks in a row. Same amount of targets as A.J. Green. They both got 9 targets. He had 6 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. If for somehow you had to play him or you did play him, that was a great spot start there in your flex. Moving forward, do you feel comfortable playing Tyler Boyd in your flex?
I think he should be owned. But I'm
not ready to put him in the lineup yet.
No, not ready to put him in the lineup yet, but I think he should be owned.
Yeah, I agree. So, is anything else that you wanted to talk about in this game, or do you want to get to how it shook down with our...
Well, the only thing I want to say is that that's 2 weeks in a row now that Tyler Eifert has played the full game, and he hasn't hurt himself yet.
But he also hasn't really done much either.
No, he hasn't hurt himself yet, and that's the main thing.
Right, but he's always been that touchdown-dependent guy. I'm still waiting for Tyler Kroft to take the job over once Eifert goes down. They both had the same 2 catches. They're using both the tight ends, and they're just not using them a lot. Either one guy. So
they're kind of eating into each other's production.
Right. So Eifert, instead of getting his 4 or 5 catches, is only getting 2 catches. So I don't really like Eifert moving forward, especially with his injury history. So if you are playing Eifert, now's the time to play him before he gets hurt. But I just don't believe it that much.
And John Brown needs to be owned.
John Brown's a must-own, even more than Crabtree, you say?
I don't know if he's more than Crabtree, but I think that I trust him right now more.
Yeah, as long as he stays on the field. John Brown is dynamic, and he can get you that 1 long touchdown, but he doesn't need it. He's also a PPR guy that can play the slot and go across the middle and get those 4 or 5 catches a game for you, and that's all you want from your flex spot. Right? Sure. Willie Snead I'm even looking at. He had another 8 targets, 5 catches. Had a touchdown week 1, 5 more catches week 2 for another 54 yards. That's 10.5 points out of your flex. That to me is well enough to start. So if he does it again 1 more week, I'm definitely looking at Willie Snead going forward as a sneaky flex play or a waiver wire pickup.
That's right.
So our Thursday night shook down. We actually invited Jimmy Garino from Game Day Card Breaks to do our triple threat with Jay and I, because Travis was not here last week. And he ended up taking Crabtree and Joe Mixon. He finished with 20 points and finished second. So he was safe. He was glad that he was safe. Said he didn't have to win as long as he didn't lose, because he didn't want to sing, and it worked out for him, and he did not have to sing. I had John Brown, A.J. Green. I was pretty comfortable after the first quarter. A.J. Green had like 3 touchdowns or two. I was like, all right, I'm good to go. And it was awesome to be able to watch the game and enjoy it without the stress of, am I going to lose this week because A.J. Green blew up. I finished with 49 points. I did win, which leads us to Jay, who had Alex Collins and John Ross. Again, if Collins gets a touchdown that was not vultured by Buck Allen, you actually would have won by, I think, a half a point. Yeah. If that's how it shook down. So that Buck Allen hurt you a lot more than it hurt a lot of other people just playing him in their fantasy league. So Jay only finished with just under 14 points. He would end up beating Jimmy by 0.2 if he would have got that touchdown. So unfortunately, it didn't happen like that. So Jay is going to be the loser. He's going to be punished. And what song are you singing for everybody?
It's going to be a tough one. Probably the toughest one I've done to date.
That goes right along with my first week. We're not making it easy on ourselves, I don't think.
No. That's probably my toughest song. I went with What I Got from Sublime. Mm-hmm. The first part is fairly easy, but once it gets a little quicker, that's where there may be some stumbles, so just bear with me. I'm really sorry if it's bad. I'm going to do 1 take. I'm not going to keep redoing it. Whatever you get is what you get.
It is what it is, and I think moving forward, if I do lose, I will do the same thing. I kind of cheated a little bit last week by putting a better copy out on iTunes because it was so bad on on YouTube. So, without further ado, are you ready?
I guess so.
You're ready?
Yeah.
All right, let me check the volumes on this once I start playing, and I'll adjust as we go, okay?
Mm-hmm. Early Thursday morning, jump into my seat. I get on that microphone and I talk for TCP. Got to find a reason things went wrong. I got to find a reason why my picks are all wrong. I got Alex Collins and I picked Johnny Ross. I think I figured out why I just picked my first loss.
Nice.
Well, the game's too short, so love the guys you got. Hope they don't get run over, hope they don't get trucked. Never start no trouble, I just get it off my chest. Never pick my players without a little rest. Take some small advice, take a tit from me, ye. Take all your money, give it all to TCP. The loss is what I got, never within my reach. And the TCP style straight from LV. It all comes back to me, I guess I got what I deserve. Tried to pick two, and yes, I got burned. Lost what I got, don't start a riot. You'll love it when the game gets hot. The loss is what I got. I said, remember that. The loss is what I got.
Whew. One take, right. Jake. See, it ain't that bad. I thought that was really good. You stayed on track the whole time. You were asking to see the words when you were doing it, and I couldn't figure out how to get the phone flipped the right way to see.
I just want to see the start. There's just
okay.
When I went on beat, once I had the first, I knew.
You made me nervous that you were going to keep looking over, and the phone was upside down, trying to get on track.
No, because I had to read my own words, and so it made it harder. I just needed to see when it started, and it was like boom.
I didn't think it was that bad at all. See, I think I need to start doing. I think I learned from experience here that I need to start doing songs that I know for sure that it doesn't matter what the words are. I can stay on beat with the.
That's
the karaoke.
Yeah. If I know the song like backwards and forwards, and I know all the actual artist lyrics,
right,
then I know I can stay on beat.
Yeah. See, for me last week with the Drake song, it was not that. It was not the case. It was very hard to stay on beat. I thought you did great. I thought you stayed on beat the entire time, and the words were funny too. Poor Johnny Ross, man. Just shots fired at Johnny Ross for going forward.
I'm off of Johnny Ross. I don't want. I'm not giving a second round pick for him in Dynasty either.
This is what it comes down to too. Sometimes it's like. When I have this guy on my fantasy team, he burns me that week in fantasy, it's like, okay, you're going to have bad weeks. But when he burns you and you got to sing a punishment song or you got to do something embarrassing and be on YouTube and iTunes and know that everyone's going to hear it, that makes you, it's like you feel like a scorned person of like, I'm not giving this guy another chance. That's how I feel about Zach Ertz. Welcome to Johnny Ross. You feel the same about him, right?
Yeah, screw Johnny Ross.
Screw Zach Ertz.
And Alex Collins I'm okay with because you know what? That was the coach's decision to burn him on that by taking him out on the goal line.
If it was up to him, he would have played.
And he would have taken the touchdown, I would have won the game. So I'm not off on Alex Collins.
Just Johnny Ross. Suck it. Okay. So that brings us to next Thursday's game, or tonight's game, I should say, is going to be the New York Jets at Cleveland. Cleveland Browns are favored by 3 points. The over-under in the game is 39.5.
Mm-hmm.
So not very high scoring. That is what it looks like. Cleveland, even though Cleveland hasn't won a game, and they're 0-1-1, they've put up a fight both weeks and have been in the game both weeks and just had some bad luck. I said previously in a different episode that Green Bay Packers, it seems like they're the luckiest team. Stuff always seems to work out for them. Aaron Rodgers, missed field goals, all this other stuff always seems to happen late Hail Mary passes. It's a literal complete opposite for Cleveland. Cleveland cannot do right. When it comes down to crunch time and them having to win the game, something always happens that doesn't go their way. So I think this game stays close, but the fact that Cleveland's favored over anyone is just shocking when they haven't won a game in 2 years. How can you say a team is favored over anybody else? I don't care where the game's at. I don't care if it's in Zimbabwe. You're favored over another NFL team. Please explain.
I think, you know what? The reason why is because Darnold is a rookie.
Okay.
For the Jets, okay? And as well as Darnold has played, and he actually has played really well, he has been hesitant on some instances, and he may throw a pick or two. Like, I actually like Cleveland Browns as a streaming defense, if that's the way you're doing it, is like by streaming your defense. And I know it's a Thursday night game, but they're at home. I think that he will throw at least a pick. I mean, he's a young guy. He's only like, 20 years old?
Yeah, I think he just turned 21.
21? Okay.
21.
So that's the reason why I think both these teams can score. And literally, the Browns could be 2-0 right now if it wasn't for their kicker. Like, their kicker missed a big kick in week one. There was like a 38-yarder, and then he missed a couple last week. So they could be 2-0 right now.
The thing, though, is it if it's not the kicker, it's something else. It's a interception. It's a fumble. It's a broken tackle that leads to a touchdown. It doesn't. To me, you can't just say it's just the kicker, because if it wasn't the kicker, it would be something else. So, are we gonna see? Yes or no answer here. Are we gonna see Cleveland get their first win this year?
Yes.
Right here, this week. Yep. Okay, so you think they beat the Jets? Mm-hmm. Positive.
Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna put together a good game.
How can you be positive when they haven't won a game? So, do you think that maybe the first 2 weeks as well was a lot of distraction going on? First, they let go of Corey Coleman right before the season started. Now they got rid of Josh Gordon on a trade. Now all the riffraff is kind of out of the locker room, and it's pretty clear cut that it's Jarvis Landry and it's Antonio Callaway, right? So
I think they're
does
going
that
to
help them?
Yeah, I think they're going to get Duke Johnson involved in the passing game more.
And Njoku maybe a little bit more?
If he doesn't have the dropsy still. I think Njoku's a good player. I think Njoku's a good player. I think they need to get Duke more involved in the passing game, not so much on the running side, and they need to run with Hyde and Chubb.
I agree with that.
I think Hyde should be the starter, but you need to give him a good amount of carries and you sprinkle in a little bit of Chubb. I think they'll put together a good game. I'm a little worried about Jarvis Landry missing practice time. They said he's limited at the start of the week. But as long as he gets in a full practice on
Friday?
Wednesday.
I'm sorry, Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah, as long as he gets a full practice in on Wednesday, then I'm okay. I know he's going to play. I just don't want him to be like
Do you think that he's
downgraded.
getting yelled at in the locker room like he did on Hard Knocks when the other guys were sitting on the sidelines and not practicing? Or is it okay for him to do it?
No,
remember when he blew up on them in the playroom?
Yeah, he's still limited. He's still practicing.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not standing there with no pads on and just watching and stretching. Like, he's limited, so he's still practicing.
Okay.
And I believe that he's kind of like Larry Fitzgerald.
I just get that feeling.
Like, he'll play through injuries.
For sure.
He's like that kind of guy.
I just got the feeling that Landry was kind of making the locker room, like, he wants it to be a competitive. He sees the talent that was there and wants them to succeed. He's a winner. He's always been a winner. He catches 100 balls every single year. He's on the field every single game, never misses time. So I just think that now that all the question marks are out of Cleveland, I think they're actually going to be more successful now because it's less distraction in the locker room. We kind of know who's there now. We know that it's basically clear-cut dry. You have these two guys, and Callaway and Landry. I think they're going to both do very well. Tyrod Taylor, though, 37 out of 70 passes so far this season. He's barely over 50%.
Yeah, NFL.
And they're still there in the game.
He doesn't
every
look
game.
like a good NFL quarterback right now, like for the first 2 weeks.
Right.
But fantasy-wise, he's actually putting up points.
Only because of his rushing, not because of the throwing. I'm just saying.
But that's what we're talking here is fantasy.
I agree, but okay. At what point does he get pulled for Baker Mayfield? Do you think that he's going to go 50% passing?
No, I will stick with what I said in the middle of the preseason when I said the whole Baker Mayfield thing. They will sit Mayfield as long as they have to. If they get to a situation where they're like 0-5 or 0-5-1 or whatever they are, like then maybe they'll look at Baker Mayfield. But if he wins this game on Thursday and then say he wins the next one and they happen to be 2-1-1, then I don't think you see Mayfield for a long time.
Okay, I agree with that. I think these next 2 to 3 weeks, this window here is going to say a lot for the future of the quarterback position moving forward for Cleveland. As far as the Jets side, you're starting Powell and Crowell? Because Cleveland's defense actually been playing a lot better than
Crowell's going to have that whole narrative about playing against his old team, so of course he's going to want to play well. They've been using Powell a lot in the passing game, so like I like Powell quite a bit, especially if it's for a flex. Like I'm going to start him in one of my leagues this week.
You're starting Enunwa? He looks like it's Darnold's favorite target. He even came out and said like it's great throwing on the ball because he's such a big target and he's got good hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like he's back.
Yeah, it's not like he's going like deep routes either. No. Like that's Robbie Anderson's gig. Which he hasn't really connected with Anderson very much, but Enunwa looks like the PPR guy there, though.
Enunwa has 13 catches in 2 weeks, pretty good. He's got more catches than Landry. Are you ready to pencil in his passport and stamp the approval for Enunwa coming off his neck surgery? Do you think that he's now proven in the last 2 games that he can handle a 100%. Full game workload? Okay, me as well. Stamp his passport. Yep, welcome to Planet Healthy Enunwa. You're there. As far as Darnold, I'm scared to start him this week. I mean, I'm
not starting Darnold this weekend. In weeks past, I said he may be good as a decent streamer. I don't like him this week. It's a short week, which he's not used to.
Right.
And it's on the road.
Right.
And you're playing Cleveland, which I know Cleveland's not a good team, but they have the dog pound there. It's like it's kind of an intimidating place to play if you're a rookie.
It's getting more intense because they're so hungry right now for a win, and the fans of Cleveland want to be able to say, I was at that game when we finally turned it around, whenever that might be.
When we got the Bud Light?
Well, yes, I was at the game that Bud Light gave us free beer, whatever the case may be. I think they're getting more intense because they can see that the team's talent is getting better and they're getting closer and closer. They're not getting blown out anymore. They're actually leading in the majority of these games. The defense is playing better. The offense is playing okay. And I think that they know. They can smell it. They can taste it. It's right there in front of them. I agree that if Cleveland's going to get a win, this would be a spot to play them in. I just would hate betting Cleveland and being up by 14 points just to see them lose again. So I don't know yet what I'm going to do as far as betting wise on Thursday night. I'm kind of leaning towards the Jets and the 3 points. Is there any chance this is a shootout? It's 39.5. I like the over in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of mistakes made by Darnold, the rookie, Tyrod Taylor. The defenses are both like average or above. I think that this could be a turnover game where there's like 3 or 4 turnovers and lead to long touchdowns or maybe broken plays, special teams touchdowns. I don't know why, but I love the over 39.5 more than I like a side.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, too, is usually on the Thursday night games, we don't get very pumped up about these. But I'm actually kind of excited to see this one.
Which is weird because it's 2 teams that are like kind of bottom feeder teams. But yeah, I think that the talent, as far as young talent that you're going to see in this game, is going to be awesome. You can see a little bit of Chubb. You can see a little bit of Darnold. Even the Robbie Andersons and Enunwa, like you're probably playing these guys. It's got a lot of fantasy relevance in the lineups for both teams. And now you get to see Callaway get more of a workload because Josh Gordon's not there, Corey Coleman's not there. It's basically these 2 guys. So I can't wait to see, is Njoku going to get the ball more? Is Duke Johnson going to be split out more in the slot? There are a lot of different things could happen in this game. So I'm kind of excited to see it as well, even though it doesn't seem like it's that great of a game.
What sucks is
fantasy-wise it is.
I'm going to get a very late jump on this game because my daughter plays softball at the same exact time. She has a game starting at 5:15.
You have her in fantasy? You started her in flex?
Well, she's probably going to pitch. So and I'm one of the coaches, so of course I'm going to be there. So I'm going to get a super late. I won't even get to start watching this game until 7 o'clock West Coast time, which means that I won't be looking at your guys' text messages when you're talking about the game.
Well, I'll let you know at halftime if how we're doing in our wall bet. So in our wall bet, a triple threat wall bet, we brought in the third. We brought in a third guy again.
If you watch the Tuesday episode of Facebook Live and also listen to Wednesday's Dynasty episode, which you can find on iTunes, that's the guy we brought in, which is David Ward.
Dave Ward is our good friend. He's been my friend for 20-something years.
He's played fantasy football, if not longer than the same time, if not longer.
Probably a little bit longer than we have, but definitely knows his stuff. Very well versed. He plays dynasty leagues. He plays in IDP leagues. He plays in redraft leagues. Pretty much He plays in actually one league of every possible thing you can get. He's even in the keeper league with us as well. So he's in the majority of our leagues. We got him to commit to picking 2 guys and joining us in our triple threat wall bet. He actually drew the number 1 pick, and he took Jarvis Landry for his first guy for Cleveland. Jay, you drew the number 2 pick. Who'd you go with?
I took Carlos Hyde.
So Carlos Hyde was gone. I drew the number 3, of course. And I got what was left over. I got the whatever the bits that were left on the ground, and I went with Duke Johnson, hoping that they use him more in the passing game, and I can get a couple of PPR points from him. And then I had back-to-back picks. I took Quincy Enunwa for the Jets, which I never thought I would say that name ever.
PPR. That's going to be a good one when you go to sing if you do lose, because a lot of stuff rhymes with Enunwa.
Yeah, name me one thing.
I'll have to think about it.
I would say can of tuna, Mr. Enunwa. This is what I would say.
I don't know.
So then that was Jay. So I had Duke Johnson and Quincy Enunwa. Jay, you went Carlos Hyde and
it was a toss-up between Powell and Crowell, and I went with Powell because he's the PPR guy.
So 2 running backs for Jay and Carlos Hyde and Bilal Powell, and David had the last pick. I just texted him, and he said he will take Crowell because he's playing against his old team. So he went Landry, Crowell for Dave, Duke Johnson, Enunwa for James, Carlos Hyde, Bilal Powell for Jay. This is in a PPR league. That we use our Venetian League to decipher the points, and that uses decimals as well. Sometimes it does come down to a decimal, and it's really that close. So even if betting the game wasn't enough, now we have a triple threat wall bet on top of that. The loser, you don't have to win. You just have to finish in first or second. You just don't have to lose. If you lose, you will be hearing us next week on the podcast singing another song. I would like to go 2 full weeks without having to sing because I it's funner to see you guys do it than me.
Special guests are 1-0 in this.
Special guests are 1-0. Not because they won, though. Just because they didn't lose.
Correct.
Jimmy finished second. David's hoping that he gets... I'm looking at David's team. If I had to take a shot right now, I'm going to say David finishes in first with Landry and Crowell. and it's going to be between me and you. So good
and
luck.
I may not even know until.
I'm praying that Chubb gets majority of the. I mean, maybe they split 50-50 and they bring Chubb in more because you have Hyde.
Yeah, but Hyde will be on the goal line.
Yeah, you would assume so, but Chubb can handle the goal line too.
I need a high touchdown.
Hugh Jackson's listening out there. Please don't forget about Chubb.
It's Hugh Jackson's bus. He's gonna drive it the way he wants to drive it. He's not gonna listen to you.
Yeah, just ask Todd Haley, right?
Ask Todd Haley. Yeah.
Shut him right down.
Ask Corey Coleman too, and Josh Gordon.
Anything else that you're looking forward to for Thursday night's game?
Yes, this will be the first game that we get to see Antonio Callaway on live television that wasn't preseason.
I'm kind of torn right now, and the episode's not over yet, and the picks have already been. I'm torn between Antonio Callaway and Duke Johnson. I
wouldn't be.
I don't know. I just think that. I don't know. I have a feeling that Callaway they're gonna feature Callaway to kind of show Josh Gordon what could be. Just like the Patriots, if Josh Gordon does play, they're gonna make sure they get Josh Gordon the ball to show that they got the better side of the deal. And it sounds petty, but this is how NFL teams are. And I just have a feeling that Callaway is gonna get a lot of targets this week. You want to take a wall bet on Callaway?
No, I don't want to go wall bet on it because I think Callaway will do good, but I still wouldn't take him over Duke Johnson.
Callaway gets minimum 7 targets.
I think he's gonna get 7 targets. Yes.
Okay, so like I said, if my guy's getting 7 targets as a wide receiver, all it takes is one of those to be like a 21-yard, 31-yard.
But I think Duke could get also 6-7 targets too.
That's what I'm hoping.
Real quick before we end the episode, because I know we're strapped on time here too, but let's talk about the Josh Gordon thing really fast.
Okay.
Because we're on the Browns and he just got cut a few days ago.
Okay.
Actually, I'm sorry, they were gonna cut him. They ended up trading him just to New England. They got only a 5th round pick for him, and then if he's not active for 10 games for New England, then they get a 7th round pick back.
Correct.
So really, they didn't give up anything, really.
Right.
I mean, it was basically like risk-free, in my opinion. Did you hear why the Browns finally got off of him and what happened with the whole hamstring? Because the way the timeline went was that in week 1, he played limited snaps. He caught a touchdown. It was his only catch, like a 12-yard touchdown catch, so he got some points. And then before week 2 even began, they were like, Josh Gordon is ready to start. He's going to start week 2. 2 days later, it's like Josh Gordon's hamstring is injured, so he's questionable. And then the next thing you know, they're like, we're waiving him on Monday. And it was like, what in the hell happened? Like, what happened?
Late. I thought he showed up late to a meeting and didn't look like himself, is what I read.
Let me tell you the story, because I read up on it. I started digging around to find out what the hell was going on here. So apparently, Josh Gordon, they already kind of don't trust Gordon because he's burned him in the past with lies and just being kind of deceitful. But
Shady.
Especially with like the off the field stuff, like the drug use before and the drinking and everything. So he's already on thin ice with Cleveland. They keep giving him chance after chance after chance. So he asked permission to do a photo shoot. He told the Browns it was a photo shoot for his clothing line. Okay, they said, yes, you have permission to do that. Go ahead on your off time. You can do that. Well, it wasn't a photo shoot. It was what they call like a hype video on social media. It was going to be released on Instagram and Twitter and everything like that.
Right.
A hype video. So in this hype video for his clothing brand, he was like doing football drills in a studio. And then at the very end of it, he ran the 40-yard dash for this hype video, and he pulled up lame on the 40-yard dash, grabbing his hamstring, and he immediately shut it down and left the studio. Then he shows up at the facility the next day, and that's when he was acting all out of sorts because he knew he messed up. He had lied to the Browns and said it was only a photo shoot when really he was running football drills and everything like that. He got hurt running the football drills for his hype video, and then he didn't want to come clean with the trainers. So he was acting like all like shady, and they started testing him out, and they're like, your hamstring is not right, this and that. And he's like, yeah, it hurts. And it's like, well, what the hell? You haven't even practiced yet. And so they immediately said he's questionable with a hamstring injury. Then they found out the real story, and they're like, that's it. Like, we're done.
That's kind of how Antonio Callaway, if you did watch Hard Knocks, remember he was acting. Remember Tahi is like, man, you look like a sad puppy. He's like, what's wrong? And then he's just like, oh, man, no. It's like you know that you messed up, and you feel different, you look different. Everyone can see it on your face. To me, this goes to something we've talked about before of it's not just you as a player, it's who you surround yourself with. And if Josh Gordon is surrounding himself with yes men and like a little, like his friends that are all still doing the stuff that he is in trouble for, they're not looking out for your best interest. And as soon as they knew, if he had a good group of friends or a good group of people around him, whether that be his agent or whoever else, they would have said right away, wait, you're doing what? No, you know what, dude? Maybe you shouldn't do that. You don't want to get hurt. We're not trying to get in trouble. Like, you're on thin ice. You're about to be suspended one more time, and you're basically out of the league. Like, we don't need you to be doing this week 2 of the season. But unfortunately, it's clear that he doesn't have that. So I'm thinking that with the Patriots, he might actually have something around him where Belichick or whoever the Kraft is going to make sure that he keeps his nose clean and that he's being watched however they want to do that. I know it sounds sad that the guy's a grown man that has to be watched, but clearly he can't handle doing things the right way and is always going to choose these things that are going to put him in these situations, and there's no one around there to tell him you shouldn't do it. Everyone's basically let him do whatever he wants, and that's the point. It's gotten him.
Is because New England, like Belichick's not going to put up with that. If he's late to one meeting, he's gone, dude.
Jonas Gray, right?
He's gone.
Like Jonas Gray?
They don't care. So like, Belichick is like, we're giving you a chance. Here's your second chance. Here's your actually third chance, really. But what we're going to do is we're going to give you our one chance, and if you show up late to the first meeting, dude, you're done, man. You're done. Belichick doesn't care who you are. He's not doing that.
So, I mean, good luck, Josh Gordon. I hope, honestly, that he turns it around because I would like to see the talent that we saw that one year in 2013 and 2012 when he was a beast. And now you put him with Tom Brady. Like, he's going to have every chance in the world to succeed if he stays on the field. And
if he can learn that playbook.
But that's the thing. Like, even if that's the case, you just say, look, you run him like Randy Moss. Run him deep every damn time if you have to. Throw him some 50-50 balls every once in a while. I don't think he's ever going to be the guy that gets you 14 catches, especially with Edelman and Hogan. Those are more the possession guys, and Gronkowski. I think they're going to use Josh Gordon in the red zone with Gronkowski, split them both out, and kind of have two guys that can win 50-50 balls, and they're huge targets. And they're going to use him as a deep threat, just like they use Randy Moss. So good luck to you, Josh Gordon. Hopefully you succeed, but just, dude, stay out of trouble, man.
Stop lying.
Stay out of trouble, and let's crack a cold one together.
Let's crack it.
Let's crack it.